Located along the state lines of North and South Carolina is a must-visit theme park called Carowinds, and this is your guide to having the best experience possible at this park. I'm going to share with you everything you need to know about Carowinds, including my plan of attack coming up later in the video, where I tell you the best plan to avoid the long lines so you can save some money and a lot of time. Carowinds has been my home park for over 10 years now, and I cannot wait to share with you all these tips. So let's dive right into it. Starting off, when is the best time to visit? Carowinds is open from early March through December, so if you want to experience all the park's rides and coasters, I recommend visiting any time other than November and December. Weekdays in June or mid-August are the best times to visit, and just remember, weekends will always be busier than weekdays. Carowinds is located 20 minutes south of Charlotte, North Carolina, and features 14 different roller coasters, dozens of rides, an impressive water park, and so much more. There really is so much to see and do, and Fury 325 is so re-rideable, which brings me to, how many days do you need? Thankfully for you, Carowinds is a rather small park, all things considered. So, if this is your very first time visiting, I recommend spending at least one full day here. Or, if you have a season pass, you can even arrive late in the afternoon the first day and then stay till close, and then come back the following morning for 4 or 5 hours. Carowinds ticket tips. I recommend pre-purchasing your tickets on the Carowinds website or their app before you get to the park. Seriously, do not purchase your tickets at the park. It's going to cost you more money and a lot of time. TPR tip. Speaking of the Carowinds app, download it. You can navigate the park on the map and see all the rides and attractions and so many other great things. Carowinds parking tips. Carowinds parking lot is in a very odd shape, as you can see, so if you do not have a Prestige Pass, then I recommend upgrading to a preferred parking, which is located right here if you arrive after the park opens. I think it's safe to say within the first hour of park operation, you can still find plenty of spots pretty close to the park. However, if it's later in the day or if you want a shorter walk, then the preferred parking is the way to go. TPR tip. To save some money and get a great parking spot, arrive at the parking tolls at least 30 minutes before the park opens. Should you purchase the FASTLANE Skip the Line Pass? If you are visiting on a weekend, then you'll most likely need a FASTLANE in order to re-ride all of your favorite rides as much as you want. Weekdays usually aren't terribly busy for Carowinds, but if you want to get as many rides on Fury 325, and I recommend doing so, I would budget for a FASTLANE just in case. That way you can experience Carowinds and Fury 325 the best way. TPR tip. I always recommend waiting to purchase the FASTLANE until you're at the park. This way you don't purchase it when you might not even need it. Is Carolina Harbor worth it? Carowinds offers a pretty decent water park overall. You're going to find plenty of fun slides for thrill seekers and the little ones to go along with other great water park attractions like 2 wave pools and a lazy river that's hardly open, it seems. So if you enjoy water parks, Carolina Harbor is the best water park in the area. TPR tip. We visit Carolina Harbor pretty much every weekend, and it gets very busy very fast. So if you do plan on visiting, I always recommend arriving 30 minutes before its scheduled opening time to beat the crowds. Because within the first 30 minutes of being open, all the slides are going to have long lines. Is the all-day dining plan worth it? With each meal costing around $27, I recommend purchasing the dining plan if you're going to be at the park all day. That way, you can eat as much as you want every 90 minutes all throughout the day. TPR tip. If you enjoy soda with your meals, I recommend upgrading to the premium all-day dining so you can enjoy a fountain drink every 15 minutes and with your meals, because a soda is going to cost you over $5 every time. Another good thing to know is that Carowinds is now cashless. However, you will find cash-to-card kiosks located throughout the park. Stroller and wheelchair rentals. Once you enter the park, turn to your left and you're going to see signs for the daily rentals Carowinds offers. It's just to the right of the gift shop. It's also very important for you to know where the best places are to stay near Carowinds. And luckily for you, you're going to find 7 different hotels located within walking distance from the park. with the two nicest and cleanest hotels being the Town Place Suites Fort Mill and Spring Hill Suites, which is located right across from the park. I just advise checking out the recent Google reviews of each of these hotels because some of them are not as nice as the ones I just mentioned. TPR tip: if I was going to Carowinds to visit, I would definitely stay at the Spring Hill Suites because obviously it's the closest one as well as the newest one. Another good alternative is Carowinds Camp Wilderness, which is located right on Carowinds property, and this wooded campground offers RV sites, tent sites, and cabins for rent. Now that you know everything there is to know when you visit Carowinds, it's time to discuss how you can have the best and most memorable day here. Getting around Carowinds. Here's a look at the park map for Carowinds, and as you can see, it's not a massive theme park, which makes it pretty easy to get around. You're going to find 11 different themed areas that make up the 407-acre theme park. When you first walk into Carowinds, you're going to walk right down the state line in Celebration Plaza. Then off to your right, you're going to enter Carousel Park, which is home to the #1 roller coaster, Vortex. Now obviously I'm just joking, and this ride is not really worth riding at all. Thrill Zone is home to the one and only Fury 325, as well as the park's underrated Drop Tower attraction, simply called Drop Tower. Carolina Boardwalk is one of my favorite areas in the park and is home to 3 coasters: Carolina Cyclone, Carolina Gold Rusher, and Ricochet. County Fair features 4 great flat rides and the park's boomerang coaster, the Flying Cobras. Carolina Harbor is located in the back of the park, and you can enter and exit it via this path right here. TPR tip: one nice thing about Carolina Harbor is that it offers its own entrance and parking area, and the great thing is the water park is included with your Carowinds admission. Blue Ridge Junction is home to Copperhead Strike and the Mountain Gliders. Aeronautica Landing is where you can find the newest thrill rides at Carowinds. Crossroads is another great area that is dominated by Windseeker, and this is Camp Snoopy, and you will find a ton of great family rides for the kids, and this area really is one of the best kids areas that you're ever going to experience. Finally, we have the Thunder Road area, which is home to the park's newly renamed B&M hypercoaster Thunder Striker, aka Intimidator. Now let's talk about when you should arrive at the park. ABO, always before opening if you're able to. This is the #1 best way to have the best day ever at Carowinds. TPR tip: be sure to get to the parking tolls at least 30 minutes before the park opens to ensure you are one of the first ones in the park. What to wear while you're at Carowinds. I always recommend wearing comfortable shoes. Carowinds is not a huge park, but it's easy to bounce back and forth, riding different rides, so you're going to be doing a lot of walking. Speaking of comfort, I also recommend checking out KeepRidingCoasters.com, which is my online coaster gear store for affordable shirts and hoodies to wear at the parks. Now let's talk about the best rides you're going to find at Carowinds. Starting off with the top 5 best family non-coaster rides. Boo Blasters on Boo Hill. Now that the park fixed the ride the right way, this indoor dark ride is a must-ride attraction. Sky Tower. Standing at a height of 262 feet, this indoor observation tower is a great way to get a bird's eye view of the park, as well as the mountains off to your west and downtown Charlotte. Windstar. This family ride is just so much fun, and I cannot recommend it enough. Our 5-year-old loves it so much we ride it every single time we go to Carowinds. Hover and Dodge. Carowinds' new bumper car attraction really is awesome, especially at night when all the lights are on it. Mountain Gliders. A classic ride, you get to control your ride experience. How high can you go, and can you snap the cables? Carowinds' best thrill rides. This is Drop Tower, and even though this thrill ride only stands 160 feet into the sky, it still provides one of the most thrilling freefall experiences out there. Gear Spin. This is one of the wildest rides ever created, and I have to say, it's also one of the most fun ones as well. Air Racers. If you enjoy being flipped upside down many times, then this ride is perfect for you. Windseeker. While it is tall, you will love getting these amazing views of the park from 300 feet up into the sky. Electro Spin. This ride honestly looks wilder than it really is. It is a ton of fun, and you're going to get flipped upside down a handful of times. Now, if you're finding my Carowinds Ultimate Guide video to be helpful in any way, then all I ask that you do is please consider giving it a like, and I really hope that you consider becoming the newest theme park recommendation subscriber. That is the best way that you can help support the time it takes to make these theme park guide videos. The top 5 best roller coaster rides. And I have to say Nighthawk because the GP loved this thing even though I don't like it at all. But something really cool about Nighthawk is that it was the world's first ever flying coaster and it opened up in California in 2000. The coaster itself is beautifully placed right in the center of Carowinds and offers a wild sensation of flying. TPR tip: the line for Nighthawk is the slowest moving line in the park, but not for you because you're going to learn the best time to ride this attraction in a few minutes. Afterburn. I think this is one of the best B&M inverted coasters out there. From the moment you drop off the lift hill, you're in for an action-packed ride that is filled with 6 inversions and a tunnel. TPR tip: I recommend riding the back row for the best ride experience and on an outside seat. Thunder Striker, also known as Intimidator. Carowinds' 232-foot tall hypercoaster dominates the left-hand side of the park and offers a layout full of floater airtime. Seriously, the first half of Thunder Striker is great, it's just the second half doesn't do much at all for the ride. Copperhead Strike. Carowinds' newest roller coaster features 2 launches, 5 inversions, airtime hills, and some great quick pacing that makes it what I like to call the most fun coaster experience at the park. But obviously the best coaster at Carowinds is Fury 325. You are looking at the world's tallest roller coaster that features a lift hill. Standing at a height of 325 feet, Fury 325 is consistently ranked as a top 10 coaster and offers just about the perfect layout. TPR tip: I recommend riding Fury 325 in the very back row, and the best seat is the one that's closest to the unload side of the station. Also, there is nothing like a front seat ride on Fury 325. But if you still want the views and not as much wind in your face, I've come to really appreciate and love riding in row 2. Now let's talk about the water rides you're going to find at Carowinds. And sadly, at the moment, the park does not offer any, but the good news is that is rumored to be changing next year. Carowinds for Kids. Camp Snoopy is a very well-themed kids area that offers a bunch of great kid rides and attractions. And in 2025, Carowinds will be expanding this area with a newly themed train ride, a new family interactive water ride, and a new coaster for younger thrill seekers. And if you're visiting with kids, I cannot recommend enough the Beagle Scout Acres, which is a playground area that every theme park should have something like this, and your kids are going to love it. TPR tip: for the younger thrill seekers, it's good to know that the height check station is located just off to your left as you enter the park. With all this fun you're going to be having at Carowinds, you're bound to get hungry, so now it's time to talk about the top 5 best places to eat. And honestly, as of late, Carowinds can be pretty hit or miss regarding the quality of the food. So here are the places where I've had multiple good experiences this year at. Harmony Hall. This is the best indoor restaurant Carowinds offers. You're going to find burgers, chicken tenders, barbecue, pizza, salads, and more. TPR tip: located inside of Harmony Hall is one of the better bars you're going to find in the park. And if you see Terry, be sure to say hi, because he by far is the best bartender at Carowinds. Next up is Blue Ridge Country Kitchen, and I highly recommend trying the rotisserie chicken and the mac and cheese. These are the best options at this restaurant. Leonardo's Hometown Italian Food offers good pizza with other great Italian fare, but what I really like about this restaurant is it's located indoors as well. Burrito Cafe. When it's open, it usually offers pretty solid food. And lastly, we have Terminal A, which honestly might offer the best food here at Carowinds, but the only problem is it's not on the meal plan or the all-season dining. TPR tip: I recommend eating before 11:30 a.m. or after 2 p.m. to avoid the longer lines for the food. Carowinds Live Entertainment. If you want to experience the full lineup of shows and entertainment, I recommend visiting during the summer or winter fest. Which brings me to Carowinds Special Events. Carowinds in the fall is an amazing time to visit due to its awesome Tricks and Treats daytime fall event, and of course in the evening, the park transitions into Carowinds. Winterfest is always a great time to visit Carowinds because all the Christmas lights and of course Fury 325. Here's a look at some of my other guides that I've created for some of the best theme parks here in America to help you have the best day possible. And you can find the link to these videos in the description of this one. And now it's time for my Carowinds plan of attack. To have the best day ever at Carowinds, arrive at the parking tolls at least 45 minutes before the park opens. Once inside the park, head right over to Nighthawk, and here is why. This coaster has the slowest moving line in the park and often runs only one train. Not to mention, but it's located right in the front of the park, so most people head right to this ride first. And while you're riding Nighthawk, I just hope that you don't get a headache. Then once you get off Nighthawk, follow this path to Thunder Striker. Now remember, for this plan of attack to work, you have to walk fast and follow this plan precisely. After you ride Thunder Striker, walk very fast to Fury 325. By the time you get in line, you should have less than a 15-minute wait. From there, I would head over to Copperhead and again walk fast. Once you enjoy Copperhead, Afterburn is located right up the hill and never gets a long line within the first hour or so of the day. Once you get to experience all 5 of Carowinds' major coasters, then you can go about your day riding whatever you would like. But here are a few tips to help you out. Ricochet, the park's wild mouse, does not offer a fast lane, so I recommend riding this early or later in the day for a shorter line. The only non-coaster ride that really ever has a long line is Boo Blasters. Vortex, the park's stand-up coaster, is very painful. I recommend only riding it if you want to get that coaster credit. Carolina Cyclone is a very underrated coaster that offers a very fun layout. Fury 325 is so good, but it warms up as the day goes on. Evening rides and night rides are the best. Now I know there's quite a bit of crisscrossing going on with this plan of attack, but as long as you walk fast and every ride is open, then this is the best route to take. Before you visit Carowinds, you also need to watch my Carowinds attraction guide as you see at the bottom of your screen, where I share with you every ride at Carowinds, including the height requirements for them as well. So now I want to know, when is your trip to Carowinds and what are you looking forward to most? Let me know in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.